Are you tired of scammers calling you every day?
Man, no money.
Me too, but I'll gladly deal with them over these 3 scams that I've had to deal with around the world. Number 1, Sierra Leone. Traveling around West Africa is no joke, even for experienced travelers like me. Trust me. This region of the world is infamous for its lack of development, crazy hot weather, and unfortunately, bribery. Things were going fine at the border until my buddy Alvaro and I were led into an interview room. The customs official asked for our yellow fever shot records, which we had, as is needed for most African countries. And it was definitely the only shot that we needed. The man, however, decided to make up the cholera vaccine as another requirement for entry. Initially, the immigration officer wanted $350 for us to cross, but after hours of negotiation, we got it down to $150, and I'm seriously upset that I paid that money, but it's a bribe I had to pay, or else I don't know what would happen to me.
We just got really scammed at the border by the Sierra Leone officials.
Number 2, the Republic of Congo. Every time I visit a new country, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, I try to have a local friend that can show me around. 99.9% of the time, these friends are welcoming, and we have a great time together, but this is one of the exceptions where something went wrong. I arrived in the capital city called Brazzaville, where I was greeted by my friend, and things were going well until he took me to dinner. The vibe changed immediately when he asked for a tip, and I was hesitant to pay him. Before the meeting, we had agreed that I didn't have to pay anything. Plus, I had already been paying for all of his meals and activities that led up to that point. When I arrived back to my hotel, he followed me and continued to harass me. After a while, I had a knock on the door, and sure enough, he was there when I opened up and asked, "Yo, where's my money?" I shut the door immediately, locked it, and called the hotel security. But this man was so persistent and refused to leave the property that I was forced to change rooms to be safe. Number 3, taxi scammers. What's the most expensive taxi ride you've ever paid for? Maybe $100 to go from one end of the city to the other? Well, guess what? One time in Sofia, Bulgaria, I had to pay 100 euros to go 5 minutes. Yes, the taxi ride was literally 5 minutes, taking me from the bus terminal to my hotel. My driver had rigged the meter to make it charge more money over a short period of time. I have never seen this before in my entire life. At first, I refused to pay such a high price, but the driver was not backing down and started yelling at me, so I was forced to. This type of scam is unfortunately pretty common in lots of different countries, not just Bulgaria. In fact, something similar happened to me in Tunisia, where my taxi driver took an absurd route that led me all over the city in the wrong direction. Instead of a rigged meter, the driver just tried to make the longest route possible, thinking I wouldn't realize it, and thus giving him more money. Luckily, I didn't have to pay him because I stopped in the middle of the highway, got out of the car, and told him to drive off. Guys, I just want to say that I'm not picking on these countries where these bad stories happen to me in taxis. It happens to people all over the world. It's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it all comes down to common sense. Trusting your gut instinct, knowing what your brain is thinking, and making sure that you're making the right decisions.
But why do I give you money? We're friends.
No,
Friends.
no.
And a lot of this comes from experience. And it's also really smart to make sure you're traveling with a local friend, because if I was with a local friend and all these experiences, I probably would have been much safer. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.